It's been tough with COVID-19, but will it ultimately be good for our communities and families?
It's definitely been tough. I think we've all been challenged. I think hopefully it definitely will be. I mean, from what I see when I'm out and about on my bike or walking the dogs around the streets, is that a lot more families are out and about as a group on their bikes. And I think it's given people the opportunity to stop and take some time out and do some really cool stuff together, and cycling is definitely one of those things.
I think people have appreciated their sort of solitude and found other ways to entertain themselves and probably increase creativity a little bit more. There's a lot more funnier things being created on the internet right now. But also, I think getting outside of the house and off the screens has probably been one of the things that I've noticed, that people are appreciating, the outdoors and each other's family company.
No. Just go be a cat. Okay. What have you used your e-bike for that you never imagined you would?
Bunnings. We went to Bunnings and just on a whim, we've got a cargo bike. So on a whim, we decided to buy a what do you call that? What kind of plant is that?
Golden cane palm.
A golden cane palm. So we put it in the front of the front-loading cargo bike and got a lot of curious looks on the way home.
I think for me, I've got an Ebike with a front and back basket, and I rode to shops and literally did a whole full grocery shop. I managed to fit it in both the front and back basket, and was really surprised about how much I could carry and comfortably ride still. But definitely like bottles of milk and cans of stuff and all that sort of stuff. So that was probably the one thing that I never imagined I would carry.
And probably I've always dreamed of carrying my dogs around, and that dream has come to reality now that I've got a front-loading cargo bike. How has having an e-bike helped you or not during the past weeks?
I honestly never thought that would help me as much as it has the last few weeks. Just getting out instead of jumping in the car, dealing with traffic lights and going the same routes that you always go. Jumping on an e-bike's been fantastic because you can go for longer distances than you would on a normal bike. But you get to explore these really cool back streets and bike paths, and there's been so many different tracks that Dieter's brought me on that I've never been along before. So really cool. And most of the times it's just as fast, if not faster, than being in a car. So it's been fantastic to get the breeze and just really feel alive again and at one with nature and your surrounds, instead of being stuck at home or in a little capsule of a car. So
it's given me a few things. It's saved on petrol, even though petrol prices are cheap at the moment, but they are going up from what I see. I actually haven't driven my car or taken my car out for an errand in about a month and a half. So I think I'm just using household electricity to get around, do chores, and also get the blood flowing. So I think it's helped me get outside, give me a nice purpose for leaving the house, and in some ways it sort of helps you clear the mind as you feel the breeze on your face, that kind of feeling of a little bit of freedom and being able to do things that you wouldn't normally do on a bicycle.
I think also when you're out on a bike, and people are walking or people are riding, you say hi to each other, and it's a really nice sense of community that you can be able to do that and sort of see what everyone else is up to out and about. Many people think that front loader e-bikes are hard to ride. How has it been for you?
I was initially nervous, and it's kind of like learning how to ride again, but with the knowledge of how to ride. So you're relearning a slightly different skill, but not terribly harder. It's just a different way of handling a bike. We've got a front-loading cargo bike. The pack's to 40, so the front isn't too big. It can fit my 25-kilo dog in the front, and it's just common sense. There are a few little tricks that you just need you figure out along the way. I guess I really wanted one. I didn't let it sort of deter me from trying to figure out how to ride it. Doesn't ride differently from, if you know how to ride a bike, you'll know how to ride a cargo bike. You just need to be aware that it's a little bit longer, and if you get nervous, just walk it through any sort of obstacles. It's perfectly fine.
I think it's obviously got a bigger turning circle, so you need to sort of be a bit wary of that when you're sort of manoeuvring around corners and trying to sort of make U-turns. But I've ridden it a few times, and it took me probably 10 minutes to get used to. The only difference is that it's bigger. It's a bigger turning circle, and for me, I don't have much cardio fitness, so to get up the hills where we are in Red Hill Paddington area is a little bit more trickier than what I would with my Orbea. But I still think it's a really cool bike, and we've found a lot of uses for it. It's been very, very handy for us.
What's a tip you'd give to someone who's learning to ride it?
Practice it in a quiet street and make sure you get your turns down pat. And that's about it. And maybe try a few hills before you load, and do it empty before you put some weight in it. So that would be my tips. What are yours?
I think just go to a big open field and just learn how the bike steers.
Yeah.
And it's easy. It'll take you all of 5 minutes to figure that out. You just got to get a feel for it. I feel like it's just getting a feel for how it turns, because it doesn't turn as sharply as a traditional bike. So it's just adjusting your style.
Yeah.
Would it put you off, riding it? Like what?
I like my normal Orbea, I think, because I'm not as an experienced rider as you. So for me, the basket on the front and the back is quite handy and probably enough for me. I definitely would ride it. I have ridden it, and I guess he hogs it all the time, so I don't have a chance to ride it as much as he does. So your question?
Yeah. Has having an e-bike made you lazier?
No, absolutely not. I think it's just so cool to get out and about on the bikes. So it definitely hasn't made me lazier. It's increased my fitness regime, if you call it. I think that it's just a really cool thing, especially if you've got an Apple Watch or like a fitness tracker, to be able to just quickly jump on the bike and go up the road to grab some stuff, or do your Bunnings trip, or whatever you choose to do, or even just jump on one of the bikeways and just go and explore. Has been heaps of fun. So definitely not made me lazier. If anything, it's made me more active, and I think also because it's pedal assist, my Orbea, it sort of takes a lot of the strain out, so you're not too tired after a ride. So definitely not lazier.
Yeah, I was afraid of that. That's why I thought it would make me lazier. It's not obviously not as fitness intensive as a regular manual bike, but because they're a little bit heavier, you sort of compensate with the amount of power that is helping you up versus the weight as well. So yeah, I made sure we got pedal assist, so it felt like you're still riding a bike. I actually do I play a game when I ride my bike. I try to ride and see how much battery life I can conserve as much as possible. And you get a lot of Ks out of your
yeah, I do, and to be honest, I don't do that. Like if I'm going up a hill, I'll put it in turbo. If I'm flying along the pathway, I'll take it down to eco mode. If I'm feeling tired or a bit lazy, I'll bump that power up a bit more. It just makes my ride so much easier. I still work up a sweat. I still am exercising. My heart rate goes up on my watch, so I know I'm doing something. But it's just an easier ride. I think especially in summer, when it does get hot in Brizzy in particular, to have that pedal assist so you're not really sweating when you're going out meeting for coffee with friends or going down to the shops. It's been fantastic.
Oh, and it's nice to be able to do like a sort of a calm workout whilst carrying a case of beer or carrying June, my 25 kilo dog, around.
Or takeaway food or whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, I like combining things. If you're time poor, it kind of helps you, get a bit of exercise because you can set it to eco.
Yeah.
And do a workout if you want and still do the groceries.
And there's been times where I've met Dieter at a cafe and I'm like, yeah, I'll meet you at home, and I've been in the car and he's been on the e-bike and he's literally like a minute behind me. So, with regards to time factors, if it's definitely local, it's not an issue. If we were travelling down south to Sunnybank or something, obviously, it might take a bit longer, but it's a really cool ride as well to go down there. So, I think with anything, you've just got to plan it a tiny bit more just to make sure you factor in a bit of extra time. But the cool thing is that you don't have to find a park and wait for someone who's got a massive four-wheel drive to slowly reverse out of their park. You kind of just ride up to where you're going, tie chain your bike up to a pole, and you're done and dusted, which is really cool. I like the ease and use of that.
And you're planning for fun.
Yeah, and you do have fun every time you ride. People say hi, you see something new, you see a bit of wildlife, you even peer into someone's front yard and see what cool plants they have or whatever. But yeah, no, you do definitely have fun. What's your favourite ride or place to visit with your e-bike and why?
I think my answer to that would be, it's actually given me more excuses to go out and find places to ride with an e-bike. I've got a habit now, or I have a routine in the morning where I'll take June to the park and me and her will just hang out, walk around a little bit and then ride home. So I think that's my favourite at the moment, and going to the cafe to go pick up a veggie box order.
Yeah.
I don't know. How about you?
I have a couple. I love Bunnings, so I love riding it to Bunnings. It's a really cool ride. It's a very easy ride, and yeah, again, you don't have to manoeuvre around car parks. You just go straight in and grab your stuff and go.
How busy was Bunnings the other day?
Mad. It was like a Westfields car park. People were waiting for people to leave so that they could park, the lineup going in, and I just shot out on my bike, and it was an awesome feeling to go, see ya. I think also, what was my second favourite place? Oh, you know what I love? I just love riding over the go-between bridge, and you look to the right and you see the river, and it's just beautiful, and sometimes we're riding when the sun's setting, and I love the river, so it's really cool to ride along it and ride over it, and Yeah, so that's been great. And the new ride out to Hamilton's really awesome too, because it's all along the river and it's a new place to explore. The thing I love about Brisbane is that we are really focusing on bikeways and bike paths, and there's always new places to explore and discover. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, and Mount Cootha. Going there for a picnic actually.
Yeah, we did that the other day. Just rode the bikes to Mount Cootha. Loaded up with a bit of food, dog, picnic blanket, books, and just chilled out. It was awesome.
I think it's any excuse to get out on the bike, really. I get excited when I've found an excuse to use the bike for, so instead of the car. So it's like a game for me, and so far the bike is winning.
Yeah. I washed his car the other week. Well, no, it was probably 3 weeks ago. It hasn't been used since it's collecting dust. So definitely, if you could definitely get rid of one car, easy, potentially two, depending on what your job and what you do. But if you're considering buying a car, think about grabbing an e-bike first, because you'd be surprised about how much you can use it. Have you got any other questions?
I think that's all of my questions.
That's me too.
Cool.